With Gloria, if you don't mind starting us off, are you okay with that?
Sure.
Okay, so Gloria's going to start us off.
So do you want me to just speak from here? Do you want me to stand?
I think you can speak from there, just try to project your voice a little bit. So
Oh, I can do that.
okay, all right.
Hi, my name's Gloria Walling, and I just wanted to say thank you for inviting me and thank you for coming. It sounds like we have quite a few people out there, so just wanted to start off by saying thanks for showing interest in our program and what we do. And with that, I will tell you a little bit about what that is. I, first of all, will tell you about myself, and then I will tell you about what I do, and then I will let you ask questions if that's okay with them. Otherwise, I guess I'll do what they tell me. So, I have two kids. One is 16, one is 20. I am married and have a husband who has a job of his own, so he helps me with my businesses when he can. And what I do is I run food service establishment in government buildings, and that can be local, state, or federal government buildings. How I got into this was through a program called the Business Enterprise Program. It's run through the Department of Services for the Blind, and it is run as part of an act that came to be in about the 1930s, and it's called the Randolph-Shepard Act. And what that does is that allows individuals that are blind or visually impaired to run food establishment in government buildings. Like I was saying earlier, they can be state, federal, or local government buildings. And what happens is Services for the Blind will secure the facilities, and then they will bid them to blind individuals who meet certain criteria. In that criteria, we have to be trained by a licensed agency, which in this case is the Department of Services for the Blind. We take a course and they train us, they teach us about all kinds of things we need to know to run businesses. But along with that, we also have to come into the class with a little background for this program. For example, it's probably a good idea if you come in with a little bit of life experience. I have worked before getting into the Business Enterprise Program. I worked for Kodak in Chehalis developing film in a dark room. Imagine that, a blind person in a dark room. And with digital cameras and things going on with computers, the market kind of started to fall out of the film industry, so it was time to find something else to do. I also attended college in New Mexico and spent some time at the University of New Mexico there. So I do have some college background. I grew up in a family of 5 sisters, so we had to learn to share and give and take. It was a little bit different growing up with 5 siblings then than it is now. We all had one room and had to share it. So I definitely learned real quick about sharing. And I moved to Washington State in '89 and was enrolled with the Department of Services for the Blind, and like I said, I worked and did a few other things along the way, and then I got involved with the Business Enterprise Program. Once I had enrolled, there was a number of tests that I had to take, placement tests, so that they can find out your levels, and then after that, once those requirements were all met, then there was a class that we took, and we had different speakers come in and talk to us about employees and how to handle employees and how to handle customer service and just different things that we would need to know to run our programs. I could go on for days about the things that we learned because there's so many different things that are involved. But after I finished the class, then I started running my own facilities. Right now, I run 6 facilities, and I have 13 employees that I'm responsible for. And it takes a lot of organization. You have 13 employees. That means you have to make sure they get to work, that they're at work, that they're doing what they're supposed to when they're there. I have them spread out between 6 stores. 4 of them are espresso stands. 2 of them are cafeterias. And I forget the lady's name here that's facilitating, but she has been to one of them. And several of you may have been to some of our locations. Here in Tacoma, we own and operate the cafeteria in the Department of Social and Health and Human Services on the 3rd floor. They're off of Sprague and 19th, so if you've ever been in there. We own that and operate that. We also are responsible for the espresso stand at the county city building. So when you go in there and get through security, if you're going for court or whatever you might be there for, jury duty or what have you, we will be the espresso stand just to your left in there. So if you buy a coffee, you bought that from me, thank you, I appreciate the support. We're also in the Pierce County Annex to the courthouse, which is off of 35th. And again, you might go in there to pay your property taxes, you might go in there to get your tabs or what have you. And again, we're just inside the door to the left, so thank you if you've bought coffee from me there. One of the things I want to illustrate and really stress while I'm here is that I am successful, but I am successful because I work very hard and I work at it. It takes a lot of organizational skills, it takes a lot of diligence, and it takes a lot of perseverance. It's like anything else in life, you have to work at it. It wasn't just handed to me because I'm blind, because I deserve it. I had to work for it. But if you want to, you can do anything. When I grew up, my parents always told me, you know, you can do it if you try, and here I am, years down the road, running 6 businesses with 13 employees. My husband has a job of his own. He helps me when he can, but he has to work too. So I have to have employees that I can count on because I am visually impaired. I'm totally blind. So when it comes to hiring, I have to be careful when I hire. We have to interview. We have to make sure that the employees we get are going to be employees that fit with our personality, that fit with our location. There's many things that we look for. We want to make sure that they have good customer service skills. We want to make sure that the job they're applying for is a job that they're able to do. We want to make sure that they're going to be somebody that we hope will stay with us. So we look at all these different factors when we hire. I also do internships from time to time if somebody has someone that they need placement for or that they're trying to help find a job for. I've been asked before to assist with assessments. So I know that we all have to start somewhere. And so I have had a couple of clients come to me from different programs where they come in and we let them see our kitchen and kind of, maybe they've never seen a kitchen, maybe they've never been able to see how an industrial mixer works or a big grill looks like, and we bring them in and we let them see our kitchen so that they can kind of get an idea if that's something they want to do. If you're visually impaired, the only way you're going to see it is to feel it. So we're very big on letting people see what our program is all about. I don't really know what you guys want to know, so I am more than happy to answer questions if there's something I forgot, if there's more information you'd like on a particular subject I touched on. I'm happy to take questions.
If they have any questions for Gloria, yeah.
Is there any certain device that you use to help you organize your day?
Oh, I'm so glad you asked. I have a million of them. In my facilities, I think 3 of my 6 facilities have talking cash registers because I do work all my locations. I, right now, am in Olympia. That's where I spend the majority of my time because that's our newest location. We've been there since October. And so we're still working on getting ourselves established there and still working on making sure we have the right staff. So I'm spending most of my time there. I have a talking cash register I use. I have a talking calculator I use. I have a money identifier that I use. I have a laptop with JAWS that I use. At the end of the day, take my sales and put them into the computer and keep track of what I'm spending, keep track of my sales for the day, keep track of my bills, and then at the end of the month, I send all necessary paperwork to my accountant. I have an accountant. I have a payroll company that will assist me with some of those more tedious duties. I'm not sure I want to mess with the IRS and make a mistake, so I leave that to somebody else. I have one employee that lives in Olympia and works 4 days a week in Tacoma at one of my espresso stands, which works out marvelous in my case. What I will do is I will have my husband take me to the location in Olympia, which is called Maple Park Cafe and Espresso. And we get there about 5:10. And if I need to go to Tacoma that day, I'll get there. I'll do the till from the day before, check the things I need to check, make sure the staff is all there and that there's not any questions. And then she'll come in about 5:45 and drop off the deposits from the Tacoma stores from the day before. And then if there's any paperwork I need to send her to Tacoma, I will send it with her, or I will tell her that I'm going to Tacoma today and she has precious cargo on board. So I do have that set into place to kind of help. It's hard to be in all the stores at once, obviously. So it's just a matter of being organized and setting up your well-oiled machine so that it can function when you're not there. And that's one of the ways that I keep in touch with my Tacoma stores. Not being able to be there all the time is by via her. So that's one of the ways that we communicate there. I have a cash register that talks at the Pierce County Courthouse. I do work that location, and so I have a talking cash register there. I also walk with a cane because, again, I am totally blind. So I do take the bus if I have to. There's times where I might get a ride if I have to. It just depends on what's going on and you know, organizing and kind of being on top of things. So I kind of am always trying to think ahead and plan my day.
Gloria, this is Melba. How are any of your employees visually impaired?
At this point, I do not have any employees that are visually impaired. Right now, I do have a student that we're working with. Well, I don't know if I should refer to him as a student, but we do have an individual on location right now. We've been working with him for the last 2 weeks. This will be our 3rd week and our final week, who comes in on Tuesday, Thursdays, and Fridays. He is what I guess I would refer to as a partial. I'm not sure if he'd be a high partial or a low partial, but he does have some vision, and he is coming in, and I am working with him, and we're kind of doing an assessment on him just to kind of evaluate his employable skills.